Okay, so you've set out the conditions that existed prior to the Latham and Egan reports and so on, and the way that you're now operating. What were the things that drove Pearce to make that transition? What were the things that were most influential, had the most impact on Pearce in terms of deciding to make that transition from a more traditional approach to a more collaborative approach?
Well, the basic business driver was the idea that we would get more repeat business and some form of continuous learning with our customers, which would then put us in a privileged position and increase the barriers to entry from competitors. If you're in a framework of one of 3 or 4 contractors and you've understood how the customer works, it's actually quite difficult for the customer to back out of that without realising that they're going to go back to...
You become a lot more indispensable within the process.
You do, and the competition don't know what you've learnt over the previous 2 or 3 years. So there's just a strong, from a contractor's point of view, it's a strong driver to say we can actually have more visibility of the future. And in terms of what that does to a company, if you just think about the value of a company, businesses are valued on their work in progress, but also their potential future workload. I mean, that's why the utilities are so prized, because they've got that income stream, they've got customers that are there, they're always going to want whatever the service is. So if you can get in a framework with a customer, it adds that sort of dimension to a contractor, rather than it being, well, we don't know what we're going to be doing next year. We might be doing the same sort of value, but we don't know who we're doing it with. Yeah. The business is valued at maybe 1 times its profit. That's why contractors don't feature very highly in terms of their business value.
So it's interesting you started with the business case for collaboration, which in my view sometimes is underplayed within these arrangements, and maybe people kind of move towards collaboration because they maybe feel that that's what they ought to do because that's what the Egan report said or that's what the Latham report said. But you've started right at the heart of the process, which is put right at the heart of that transition, the business case.
But there's also a business case for the customers as well. When we first started partnering with ASDA, and as a business we've been doing that now this is our 11th year of being a partnered contractor, they told us that every year prior to starting that process, they were in court with a contractor in a legal dispute, which was dragging lots of people and effort and time on their behalf to settle those issues. They weren't getting any improvement, the programs weren't getting any shorter, the costs weren't coming down. They were stuck in a paradigm and a situation that was just rolling on, perpetuating year after year. We talk to those guys now, they haven't had a legal dispute since they've been partnering. No contractor can afford to really take a customer like ASDA to court if they want any further future work.
I know it's sometimes an overused term these days, but we're kind of talking win-wins relationships here between clients and main contractors. So the client wins by getting a better product with much less hassle, and on the contracting side, you're getting much more certainty of work. I guess that allows you to invest more within your own organisation.
And invest in people like the job I'm doing now, which is not directly contributing to the bottom line today. It's about training and investing time in improving what we might be doing in a year to 2 years' time, which in a traditional, short-term vision business where you don't know what your workload is going to be in 3 months' time, it's very difficult to justify that sort of expenditure.